I don't know about you, but I used to hate saying no. It felt like I was letting other people down, like I was closing the door on relationships and limiting my opportunities for success. It felt like I was, to be honest, just being plain rude. Plus, when I would say no to the narcissist in my life, that would scare me because I would get into a fight or get into some kind of conflict. And being someone who hates conflict, I would do anything to avoid it. Not only this, but by saying yes to everything, I was holding myself back from actually living the life that I deserved. I was getting into more narcissistic relationships because I was attracting people who were takers because I was a giver. I was losing that sense of who I was, my sense of self, and I was at work taking on far too many projects. It was like trying to fix everyone. As a fixer, that's what I wanted to do, was fix people, and I thought that was my responsibility. But I started to lose my values. I started to lose sense of who I was and what my goals were, and eventually my mental health began to suffer. But I managed to find a way to say no. In fact, I managed to find a way to let people know that no was the answer without even having to disappoint people, without even having to be scared. Now, I even found that people would often thank me for my honesty, for being true to myself, and they would be like, I look up to that. I like the way that you're able to say no in such a firm but fair way. Hey there, if you're new to the channel, my name is Doug, and for the longest time I actually thought that if I was going to ever say no, it would have to be such a big process of building up my courage because I was scared that it would always turn into a fight. But it wasn't until I discovered these 4 tips that I'm going to share with you right now that I managed to say no with ease, which is why I'm going to break down from the simplest to the most advanced tactics that I have. Now, the first tip on how to say no when you're dealing with a narcissist is ask yourself these 3 questions. Now, the first question you need to ask yourself is, does this project or request align with my true values? Now, the second question is ask yourself, will saying yes help me or hinder me in terms of my mental health or my mental well-being? And the third question is, will saying yes cross my boundaries, or will it help me reach my future goals? Now, in this point in the video, you may be wondering, how do I know what my future goals are, what my values are? And I hear you. That is why I want to invite you to my free training on how to design and reinvent your life as a people pleaser after narcissistic abuse. Just simply click on the link in the description or go to the comment section and let us know, because we will give you free access. Right, now my second tip on how to say no without feeling worried, how feeling scared, is to practice makes perfect. So what do I mean by practice makes perfect? Basically, set yourself goal challenges. Set yourself a challenge to say no to as many people as possible. Yeah, so this could be when you go into the coffee, someone offers you something, say no. Okay, someone offers you coffee with sugar, you say yes please, and then you say, take it back and say no, I didn't want that. Right? Do something difficult. Find ways to say no. It could be your friend, they ask you out for dinner and you really want to go, just say no, I can't make it. Ring them back 5 minutes later and just say, hey, I move some things around, I'd love to go with you. Okay, but practice saying no, because this way, when you practice saying no, you start to realize that actually saying no isn't such a bad thing. Nothing happened when you say no. And this is training the internal system, training your brain, rewiring the brain and rewiring the body to start to realize that when you say no, it's okay. Now, the next tip on how to say no without feeling scared is let them know that you hear them. Just let the person know that you hear their request, you understand them, you're there for them. Right? You can say, it's great that you're doing that, but it's really not for me. You can say, I look forward to hearing about it when it comes back. Now, what you're doing here is you're kind of giving them a yes and. You're not blocking them. You're not just saying straight no, making them feel rejected. Okay, because especially if you're dealing with a narcissist or someone who has that kind of 4-year-old mentality, you don't want to say yes to them, but you want to say, hey, I hear you. That's a great idea. Once you've done that, I look forward to hearing about it. But right now, this isn't what I want to do. Right now, I'm busy. Now guys, if this is you and you've had this type of experience and you found that sometimes it's easier just to kind of go along with it but still say no, let me know in the comments. Let me know if you found that this kind of works, or if you found another tip that works. Okay, so the next tip on how to say no without feeling guilty is create a script. Now this could be something like, I promised myself that I would work on my project because I'm behind, so not right now. This is time that I've dedicated to myself already. This way you're just giving yourself an excuse, you're giving yourself an opportunity. And if you haven't got a project, start writing a book. Okay, books, my book took a few years to write. Just write a book. Okay, it could take 10 years, it doesn't matter. But this means that when someone asks you, you can say, hey, I've already dedicated that time to myself. Have that script ready. You could say something like, thanks for the offer, but it's not for me. Just saying that is something to say rather than, well, maybe, okay, thanks for the offer, that's not for me, or that just doesn't work for me. You know, you can be a bit more blunt. The blunter you are, the more direct you are, the more they will understand. Well, when I say understand, the more they'll understand that you don't want to do it, and the more they're probably going to push back. But, you know, the more you stand tall, the more you stand strong, the more they're going to understand that you're the sort of person who means what they say. And guys, if you're struggling to say no, remember that by saying yes, you're actually saying no to everything else. This means that by saying one no, you only have to say one no. If you say one yes, you're actually saying 100,000 no's, because you're saying no to so many millions of opportunities. Now that might sound overwhelming, but it's important to remember that just saying a simple no is sometimes the easiest option. And now, at this point in the video, you might be wondering, well, I don't know how to set boundaries. I'm still struggling with all of this. And that is why we have the free training. So go and check that out. And I'll let you know how you can become a person who can set boundaries with ease. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Namaste.